Mr. Pyro J, thank you so much for the raid, and welcome back to Tuesday Night Lights. That is not Somber, who is currently blocked by the raid notification. All kinds of things going wrong right now, but that is Sleeper56. Let me adjust the booth real fast as, Sleeper, my friend, you're on the Nightcap series of Tuesday Night Lights. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I have worked all day since 11 this morning, and I'm just ready to end it off with some great Rocket League. It's always a blast to be on the Night Lights, even if it is just the nightcap. It's always a blast being in the booth with you here, Bepic.
Look, the Nightcap series has traditionally been the best series, I think, of the entire evening. We usually finish by going the distance. I don't know if that's because teams just want me to stay streaming for more than 4 or 5 hours, but Kennesaw State and Oklahoma have the chance to do that here. Pyro, you broke my alerts, my man. I appreciate the raid, but come on, we gotta fix that for next time. As yes, you did raid. Everyone go follow Mr. Pyro J. He streams Rocket League and Valorant and Tricky Towers, and is now watching Dylan score first for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about it before. Kennesaw, this is their B team, but they're still a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan, Schadee, who made day 3 of RLCS this past regional, and Joel, who is such a great in-game name, by the way. Beautiful, humongous, vanilla king. Another thing we were talking about, this Oklahoma squad, one of the teams that has probably the shortest amount of characters between the whole squad. I mean, Joel's in-game name probably has more characters than all 3 of the opponents combined.
I think Beautiful Humongous, like just half the name has more characters than the rest of Oklahoma. It's absurd. It is probably the greatest Collegiate Rocket League name for sure. You're right.
Oklahoma, they're trying to get one back here. That one's going to be saved out by Joel. We'll just call him that to keep it a lot shorter than it is in-game. A couple demos as well coming out here. Still Oklahoma not able to get anything through quite yet, but they are getting some good looks here at the Kennesaw State net.
And over on the Oklahoma side, most of you, unless you're familiar with my stream or the SEL, probably will not have seen too much of Oklahoma's play. But Will and Pay were on the A team this past semester. They're both high GC3 SSL level, on the lower side of SSL. But Kez is the new addition. Oklahoma actually had their tryouts a couple of days ago. And Kez got the nod, so shout out to Kez for stepping up, joining Will and Pay on the A team, and we're going to see what they're made of tonight, because that Schadee infusion on KSU, I think, is massive for this roster. They were decent this last season, but they're taking a guy in Schadee that I believe is a 2200 peak and now rank A, thanks to his day 3 RLCS appearance, and slotting him into the role on this roster that was filled by a solo play heavy mechanical player in Drake. So I would love to see what KSU looks like this season. I mean, so far so good, just 1 goal in the first couple minutes, but it is 1 goal in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, both of these teams playing with a new member on their roster, so they still haven't quite locked down all of that chemistry quite yet. So it'll be interesting to see how the team plays will come out here as the match progresses. But like you said, 1 goal, half the game gone off the clock almost, and starting to get a little bit back and forth while Shadee's taking it up. Doesn't use the flip there. I don't think he ended up getting it. Now Joel ends up lobbing it, Pays able to clear it out. Schadee back center to Dylan. Tried getting that passing play there, but it was cut off. Quick transition here from Oklahoma. That shot is just going to go wide of the net. Oklahoma, they're still managing to hang in there.
Close shaves. Oklahoma are putting good attempts on target, but it feels like they need the posts just to be a foot or so wider on both ends, and then they'll be putting in goal after goal. Instead, though, they have to continue to fight from behind, and KSU with an opportunity now to make it 2 will be shut down by Will there in the corner. He stripped Dylan of possession. Let's see if Kez can do the same for Schadee, or if he has to wait for Pay to do that. As the next man up in the Oklahoma rotation, and nobody can take the ball away from Schadee, so he gains all kinds of space for the Owls to work.
Did get bumped off the ball though, so wasn't able to continue possession. Almost looked like he would have recovered to it on that ceiling there, but wasn't able to catch back up to it. Now the Sooners have it back on that blue half for just a little bit before cleared out by Joel once again. That shot able to be put away by Will there. Following the play once again, pops it up. Kez is in the corner. Shot's going to be on, but Schadee is there to clear it out. Nobody from Oklahoma is able to put that one towards the net again.
Still, Oklahoma, to their credit, even though they can't score at the moment, they're doing a good job that at least when they do have to retreat, they're not allowing KSU good-looking counterattacks. In fact, they've controlled possession for the majority of this game, and that's led now finally, almost 4 minutes into game one, to Kez scoring Oklahoma's first goal. So here we go. Finally on the board, Sleeper, we got ourselves a game.
Right, that was a great play there as well from Oklahoma. We were wondering how that chemistry would work together, and that was just a great call off from Kez. Pay headed up. Dylan was challenging Pay's touch as well. Kez called him off, took the ball for himself, had the shot underneath both defenders, and Oklahoma, they're getting rolling along here. They've had quite a few shots. Finally, one was able to go through. 40 seconds. Nobody from Kennesaw able to take advantage of that ball to the center of the field there. Now Schadee just has to let that one go. Will to collect it. Has some boots. Trying to take it through the corner now. Will trying to stop it. Dylan has a lobber. It's wide, but nobody from Kennesaw able to get a follow-up shot as well.
Hey, no second touch, so Dylan's allowed an interception. Kennesaw State, to their credit, are setting themselves up for the final possession of regulation, or potentially final goal. Dylan had an opening, but they got there in time to find a clear before sacrificing his car body. In the meantime, Schadee takes over. Flip resets over one, but not the second. That's great defense out of Oklahoma. They haven't been the flashiest team in offense at the start here of this best of seven, but they have been very composed defensively and will at the very least get us to OT.
Yeah, they have looked very composed. There's never been a time where they have looked out of it. Even though it hasn't been flashy or super mechanical or anything like that, they have still been clinical and composed, and they could bring this in overtime. Schadee trying to get a pass down to Dylan, actually got bumped off of his trajectory, so possibly put him just out of position for the shot. That's a pass back center for Schadee, but Pay is there to cover it up. Now trying to get a transition here for Oklahoma. 30 seconds into overtime. Kennesaw has had most of the offensive possession, but Oklahoma is looking to break out here.
Kez pre-jumped that. I like the ambition there in offense. I don't think the play called for a pre-jump, but let's see what Kez is kind of thinking about. Well, he's upfield, and now solo play to potentially win it or set up the game winner, but Will crept up too far. Now Pay has no boost. Dylan 1v1. He fakes every which way before shooting, and that allowed Pay an easier save as Dylan cut down his space in offense. Joel, though, is looking for the win, and he shoots far side and out. So 60 seconds of OT have come and gone. KSU have the better looks, but have yet to put this game out of reach.
Offense, or the defense from Oklahoma, looks a little bit jumbled right now. That center pass goes wayward of the shooter from Kennesaw. Now Pay the transition down to the other side. Going to be caught off guard by Schadee. Now once again trying to put it through for the Owls here. That's a flip reset. Couldn't get it under Kez though. Joel, one more towards the net, is going to be met by Will. Oklahoma, they're still holding on defense, even if it has looked a little bit sketch at times. It does not matter because will just take it the entire length of the field here.
That is the definition of weathering the storm. And I mean, people that live in Norman, Oklahoma probably aren't going to be bad at weathering storms, the amount of NATOs out there, but so much defense was played at the end of regulation and overtime by the Sooners that I am extremely impressed they got out of that with a win, because Kennesaw State, I'm expecting a bit more lethality out of as they get their wheels underneath them this season. But look at that. Outshot Oklahoma, find a way to nab game one from KSU. They strung together 2 consecutive goals throughout that game, and hey, Sleeper, they're on the board first.
Yeah, first win. That's what you love to see if you're Oklahoma. Like you said, a little bit outshot, not super far off, 8 shots to 7, but they were still a lot better on that defensive end, able to save a lot more shots, 6 of those 8. And there's only 1 shot from Kennesaw that went wayward at the net. So I like Kennesaw's accuracy on the offensive half a little bit better, but the defense from Oklahoma as well is currently able to keep up with what Kennesaw has been able to throw at them.
6 saves out of 8, and they set up decent counterattacks for the most part. I think that statement kind of holds true more so in the first 3.5 minutes of game 1. The last 90 and then the 1 minute or so of overtime, it slipped a bit for Oklahoma, and that worries me going forward because Kennesaw State, I think, will be able to lean on experience playing together, with Dylan kind of being the glue between Schadee and Joel, as he's got a semester's worth of experience with both of them. So going forward here, game 1, Dylan starting us off. That's a decent look. Misses just high on the outplay, but 10 seconds in and KSU have not blinked after game 1 didn't fall their way.
Dylan almost scoring right away again in game number 2. He opened up the series, looks to open up game 2. That shot goes wide. I will get the credit anyways, as it's an unfortunate own goal there from Will.
Well, gravity is an evil thing like that. Poor Will on the wrong side of a highlight play, but hey, Dylan's scoring first for Kennesaw State, so I don't think the Owls will be too concerned, though. This is what happened at the start of game 1, and we know how that ended, so Kennesaw State, gotta be careful, gotta add to this lead, and Schadee will try here.
Bumped off the play there. Kez able to catch it and intercept. Dylan once again high in the air. No one really taking some clean possession here. Will's just going to pop that one off the backboard. Going to be cut off by Schadee. Now looks to try and continue it through the midfield, but Kez is going to be there. Now looking for a pass center. Schadee once again getting involved in the play. Now Dylan to work with. Pass over, looking probably for Joel, but not able to meet him on the field there. Kez able to send it all the way back down to that blue half. And the Owls haven't really been able to break out of their own half here so far. They've had a couple long clears out, but it's instantly put right back, and Will gets a shot as well. But now Joel trying to clear here for the Owls.
Nice pass. Dylan's allowed a shot on target. Will doesn't have an easy time saving it, but Schadee will give him an open net if he can get around on it to equalize the game. That was a shot I guarantee you Schadee would like back, because he never actually shot it. So we're tied 1-1.
Instant turnarounds here for the Oklahoma Sooners. We saw it in the overtime. They were stuck on defense for most of it, and then they were able to bring it right back out and score the game-winning goal there. Will caught in a little bit of an awkward spot on defense, able to come away with a save, and Schadee missed the touch, and Oklahoma was able to break out once again for a goal. Will trying to get a second here to take the lead. Dylan able to bring it out. That one's going to hit off the crossbar. Follow-up shot from Schadee goes under the bar, and now Schadee will find his scoring here in this series.
Well, for KSU to get their offense going, one of two things had to change. Either Dylan had to stop hitting the crossbar and his solo play efforts, or there had to be a better second man after Dylan takes a lot of space and gives it to his teammates to work with offensively. And it looks like it's going to be the latter, because Dylan hit the crossbar on that play, but Schadee was there as a perfect second man to shoot. And now Shadee's turn to maybe return the favor. He passes to Dylan, and Dylan hits the woodwork again. He just cannot dodge the post and crossbar.
Dylan's shots has been finding everywhere but the dead center of the net, it seems like, in more regular game time, I should say, rather than the first 30 seconds of play. That one pops out for Will, sends it high. Joel not able to get a touch. Kez is going to be there, but Dylan able to clear it out either way. Dylan once again trying to get this through. Like you said, Bepic, I want to see that second man from Kennesaw commit on those follow-up opportunities a lot more than what they have been showing, because there has been a lot of space afforded to the Kennesaw Owls on offense for those follow-up secondary shots, but they just haven't been taking them as much.
So solo play heavy as well. Kennesaw State's playing patient and waiting for that one good moment. They're keeping control of the ball, waiting for the one perfect opportunity to really commit on. But that's not to say the execution has been flawless 100% of the time for the Owls, but they have had more chances here in Game 2 than Oklahoma have. And here's another. Schadee providing a solo play that kisses the crossbar, and the second man is there for the follow-up, but Oklahoma stayed at home on their goal line.
Oklahoma has also just been doing a great job on defense of keeping that ball away from their net as much as possible. That solo play is brought on in, and then usually the follow-up shot is cut off. That one not going to be, though. Pass center for Schadee off of that corner. Actually, a 50 from Kez and Dylan ends up right to Schadee. And the defense from Oklahoma surprisingly caught out just a little bit too much to make the save there.
Pei was the guy on the goal that had to make the read, and unfortunately faltered. So, difficult mistake to give up, as Kennesaw State have been afforded a lot more shooting lanes in Game 2. And maybe it was just a couple minutes and plus overtime in the first game that was necessary for Kennesaw State to really get going here. But Will has just clipped on KSU, and he answers right back. That's the first little bit of offense in a while for the Sooners, and Will made the most of it.
We're talking about the solo plays from Kennesaw, but that solo play from Will was just really controlled and very, very clinical to cut it right through the defense. Had that first pop over the defenders, and then able to put his car directly in the right spot to get that little 45-degree flick hit into the net. And it's a one-goal game once again. 1 minute on the clock. Oklahoma still plenty of time to work with, but want to get it done sooner rather than later, as that time will start ticking down faster and faster as they try and hammer more goals through.
It's a good clear, though. Joel's going to get a little bit of time for his team, but didn't have boost for the follow-up. Not committing off the sidewall right there is the correct decision. You don't want to take yourself out of the play for the rest of time, pretty much, and just live to fight on for the next attempt to break out of defense. But even that one's unsuccessful, as Kez breaks away, has Pei in tow, rather, and he couldn't go up for it. Joel met the challenge midfield line nicely, and Kennesaw State is just making sure Oklahoma doesn't have an easy time breaking out of defense.
That they have not had. They have been stuck in their own half now for about 30 seconds, and with the amount of time on the clock, that is not a good chance. 10 seconds now for Oklahoma. They really need a breakout here. Pei over to Will, cut off by Schadee. That's a good job from him to keep that away from the Oklahoma Sooners. That one's going to be popped down from the backboard. The from Joel will hit the ground just before it goes into the net. But Kennesaw, they're able to come back from that game 1 overtime loss and take game number 2 3-2.
Look at that, just 3 shots for Oklahoma. Will with both of them, with all 3 of them, 2 goals. Kez and Pei were almost non-existent offensively. 80 points each. And Oklahoma was still very close to at least forcing overtime right there. I don't have to break this down in any complex fashion. That's not good for Oklahoma if you want an effective offense, as Will was effectively soloing there.
Yeah, Will did just enough to keep his team in the competition with Kennesaw State, but you really got to see Pei and Kez step up a little bit more if they want to continue to take game victories against Kennesaw instead of just barely losing by 1 goal here or there.
I mean, Joel had 72 points as well. I feel like I have to point that out to be fair. That was not a good game for the supporting cast on either side, as Will, he had his star-studded plays, Dylan and Schadee had theirs, and then maybe there were 3 other cars on the field. We're not entirely sure, but going into game 3 here, big one for both sides. Oklahoma to recover from a lackluster game 2, and Kennesaw State just to keep rolling and continue to exercise, I think, their position as the better team just overall on the field at the moment. I'm sure it's what they're saying right now in comments, like, guys, we are the better team here. All around, we are the better team. And they should be running away with games. I feel like if Oklahoma keeps playing the very passive, very stuffed onto their goal line style of Rocket League that they're playing right now.
Yeah, Kennesaw is definitely a team that can adapt to that. If Oklahoma will continue playing the game that they have been, then Kennesaw will learn how to break around that and break down this Oklahoma defense that hasn't really been needing to challenge them too many times. As that shot will fall away to the midfield from the Kennesaw Owls. Now trying to get another one here, but the Oklahoma defense, they're just hanging on, but they still haven't allowed anything through yet.
Still, KSU with possession, a ton of it, and no goals to show for it. It's a nice fake, though. It allows Dylan a shooting lane. Pei's there to stop it, and Kez try and clear. Doesn't even get the midfield boost, though. Has to rely on Pay deep in offensive territory to keep the Sooners there, and that won't pan out. It's awkward for Will and Kez, and that was kind of the chance for Oklahoma. Well, they find another one. KSU don't wrestle control away from Oklahoma, so looks like the Sooners will get some time spent in offense, and whether they find a shot or not, that remains to be seen, but it is time spent in offense.
Yeah, they look to go right back to it after Schadee brought it out to that orange half, but Joel this time able to catch it in his own corner. Brings it out to the midfield, but it's going to be cut off by Pay. Now Schadee going to be there for the Owls to collect on the possession. Tries taking it high, has it, tried to get it under Kez, but Kez was a little bit too good on the defense that time around. Now Dylan will try for the Owls. Will is going to be there to meet it. Top center for Pay. Tried passing it back out to Will, but gets cut off by Schadee. Kez has to just try and meet him in the corner. That's popping out to Dylan, and he will put that one into the net.
That's flawless from Schadee. The fake challenge there on the near side, forcing the hard hit out of whoever was the near side defender right there. It was Kez. And then from there, found Dylan perfectly with the ceiling pinch, and Dylan trusted Schadee to get in the ball. That's what happened. 1-0 KSU.
Faking now from Pay. Not going to pay off in any meaningful way except for a shot from Will that will go just wide of the net, unfortunately. Now Dylan back down the other way. That one put away by Pay. It's going to be Will to collect on it. Never mind, he gets demoed off the pitch. Schadee has it high. Dylan can't get up to meet that ball to put it through onto the target, though. Ball a little bit awkward in the corner now for the Sooners. Again, dangerous here for the Owls. That shot will be able to find its way through for Schadee. Just a slow lobber works this time around.
Well, this play looked bad, but for the most part, I have to say, with regards to the defensive third play from Oklahoma, they've looked solid in the final third of the pitch. But everywhere outside of that, it has not looked good. They can't find clears. They can't, when they do find clears, occasionally, they can't stay out of defense. It's sent right back their way. They don't have boost to play any offense outside of maybe Will on occasion. And KSU just have to wait. You have to play patiently, wait for a moment to outplay Oklahoma's defense, which is difficult to do, to the Sooners' credit. But right now, I mean, 2-0, this looks as safe a lead as any, I feel like, for KSU, especially when Schadee is diming up Dylan like that. Oh, man, that was clean.
This connection from Schadee and Dylan, we were wondering, or I was wondering how it would be going into this match in Kennesaw State, and it is clearly paying off dividends. This looks to be a tough team to contend with in the future if these two are still connecting like that come game time in the SEL. But now Joel takes it high, gets cut off by Will. He's going to be on the ball once again. Like you were saying, Bepic, this Oklahoma squad, they seem to be just stuck in defense most of the time. And when you just are constantly in defense, those defensive rotations.
Joel.
Goodness. Joel almost just gave Oklahoma a gift, but they still even weren't able to cash out on that. And Oklahoma, it's starting to seem like the flip of the coin is landing all Kennesaw's side right now. As that one as well will be put away by Schadee. But if you're stuck on the defensive third for as long as Oklahoma had, those rotations just tend to get awkward, and then eventually the Kennesaw State Owls will be able to put a goal through your net.
Still, Oklahoma have played more offense, I think, in the last 45 seconds than they have the rest of Game 3 here. So there's time and opportunities to maybe have a go at this comeback, but Shadee's got full boost, and that is a booming clear. Right back the other way. Dylan's got a lane to shoot. He goes low. That's 4, and I'll just scratch what I said a second ago. There is no coming back in Game 3, unfortunately, for Oklahoma.
Pay was just trying to control it there onto the side of the wall. Couldn't get that second touch to keep it magneted to the wall. Pops right out for Dylan. All he had to do was pick the opposite shot of the defender, and he did just that. And as this series has gone on, Bepic, Kennesaw has really been able to find ways to make Oklahoma even more and more awkward on the defensive end.
That really has been the case. I mean, 1 goal scored in Game 1, then 3 in game 2, now 4 in the third. Kennesaw State's been ramping up. And credit to them, they're finding a way to play around an Oklahoma team that is just stacking their defensive third and making it very difficult to score goals. I mean, KSU, well, I'm curious to see the final shot tally at the end of game 3 here, because 4 goals on, it felt like a million shots on target, or at least like 70% field domination. And my CPU's been having trouble. I can't have Carl up for me to give me those numbers, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah, 10 shots for Kennesaw State. Only 1 for Oklahoma this time. Again, it's by will. But Oklahoma, their offense has just been stymied by this Kennesaw State team entirely. Like you said, Kennesaw, their offense has been ramping up more and more. But Oklahoma, they had 2 goals in game 1 to win. They had 2 goals in game number 2 to lose by 1 goal. And then they were completely scoreless here in game number 3. And as the series continues to progress, I just wonder how much more the lever could swing in favor of Kennesaw State.
Well, I'm going to take the easy route with my analysis as to what Oklahoma has to do better, and they have to have somebody other than Will, I think, shoot the ball going forward if they want to get back in this thing, because they've got 3 total shots in the last 2 games, and they're all from Will. Sorry, 4 total shots that are all from Will. Pay and Kez, I need you to step up, and that's all I'll say about Oklahoma. KSU, you boys are looking pretty. Keep on doing what your lovely faces are doing right now, and you should have a 4-1 if this keeps going.
Yeah, Kennesaw in a prime position to sweep through the rest of the series. Currently 2-1 on the series scoreline right now. But from how the last game felt, it feels like it should be a full-on sweep here for Kennesaw. But that's not how it goes sometimes, you know. Those overtimes can get a little bit away from you, especially earlier on in the series when you're just warming up against your opponent. And, I mean, Kennesaw, they warmed up and they definitely figured out how Oklahoma was playing and is able to just exploit it to their fullest advantage.
Especially for a team like Kennesaw State that in its new iteration of the B team roster looks to be playing so solo play heavy that it makes sense. You have to adjust and figure out where you want to go with your solo plays to beat your opponent's defense. But there we go. Will's taking another shot, and that's not what I asked for, but that's a phenomenal shot, though Joel did come up with a brilliant save to make sure we stay scoreless. And now Kez clearing a lane potentially for Pay to break out as Joel's been taken down for a moment, and it's Kez that actually allows for the clear. And a shot here, no dice. Joel again is a thorn in the side of OU's offense.
Now Pay trying to bring it right back out. They've had some good offensive pressure here so far in game number 4. A lot better than what they were able to muster up in game number 3. But now Kennesaw looking to go onto the offensive. Schadee passed out to Dylan. Look for the bump. Saved by Kez, but the follow-up there from Joel will be too good to save out.
I really thought that was going to be a follow-up save from Kez. Backwards and the play, and bumped out by Schadee. I think that's the only reason that there wasn't a second effort made there on the ball. But way to crash the net. Kennesaw State, that's a good offensive try, and they're just picking up right where they left off here. I mean, on its tear at the moment against OU, but Dylan's just whiffed, and Will has a goal. Okay, then.
Another shot for Will, but this time for a goal. Just a little lobber off of the side wall, ends up hitting the ceiling just under the crossbar, in fact. And Oklahoma, it's been a little bit scrappy, but they've been able to find a way to tie it up here in game number 4. Now Pay trying to get a shot for his own. He's going to lob it off the backboard, sends it up for Kez. And now Pay and Kez are starting to get involved on the offensive half.
And that has got the sting for Dylan. You whiff once, okay, they score, that's all right, we'll recover. But then off kickoff, Oklahoma just add to it. They just needed a bit of momentum, this Sooners roster, to get going again. That's the first lead in quite some time. I think since game 1 for Oklahoma. Since, actually, if you don't count their overtime win as being a lead, just a win, that's their first lead of the series. So it's been up and down for Oklahoma for sure, and somehow they are still in a position to maybe send us to a guaranteed game 6.
Yeah, a lead in regulation, you could say, as that shot from Kez unfortunately goes wayward to the net. Now Schadee looking to combine with Joel. Not able to get the bump, though, before Shadee's shot came through. Now the setup from Dylan to Schadee once again. And this duo is looking deadly here.
That is so nice from Dylan. Not going for the immediate shot with the player pre-jumping him, instead electing for a pass. And that could have been an outside pass to Joel or an inside pass to Schadee. He elected for, I think, the safer option in Schadee. You want your 2200 on the ball as much as you possibly can get him. So that's beautiful. And Dylan, again, is at the forefront of KSU's offensive, which they don't need another goal. They want to win this in regulation, as Oklahoma have scrapped their way to a tie ball game at the halfway point and are in the offensive zone now. Let's see what Pay's got for us as he goes flying past the ball, unfortunately, conceding possession to Schadee, and that's enough for Schadee to put KSU up in front again. That's why he is rank A.
Yeah, the solo play from Schadee, able to work out this time. Faked out Will, faked out Kez, and got it around Pay before he could get back in time to that ball. And Kennesaw State, they take the lead now once again. Still half the game left to play. Oklahoma looking to try and respond. That one is going to go wide. Joel is there to cover it either way. Now Schadee, his carry out gets cut off by Will, but Dylan able to continue the further momentum for the Kennesaw State Owls. Has put it to the side for a brief moment. Pay is able to clear it past a couple Kennesaw State members, but it's popped up for Dylan once again. The double goes high. Schadee not able to beat Pay to that one in the air, as this one's brought out to the midfield once again.
Brilliant save. Oklahoma continue to put in work on their goal line just to stay relevant in this series, and sometimes that's all you need. I've seen a series long ago. I think it was actually a former Oklahoma A team that was outshot something like 58 to 20 something in a best of 7, and they still went to game 7 overtime. It was game 5 overtime. It's been a while since I watched that, but I know it's possible, especially in Southeastern Esports League Rocket League, which is what this is. Good preview of things to come, and there's another save. Kez with a block on the goal line, prevent KSU from adding to their lead, though Schadee again tries his hand and again is denied by Pay on the goal line. Look at this from the Sooners.
Yeah, the boost though very low on the side of Oklahoma. Pay just has to pick up a pad, trying to get the clear out, able to do so. Kez has a little bit, uses it all there. That shot put in by Dylan.
Bro.
And I just gotta say, Bepic, Dylan, it doesn't seem that he cares what goal he's scoring on. He just wants to score goals.
I mean, in his mind, that's an on-target shot. It's too close to not commit for, and so he's got to make a play on it because Joel hasn't rotated back completely yet, and the play he made just looked really bad. That's Rocket League sometimes, as Dylan said in chat, but this has been a howler of a game for him, at least defensively. Offensively, he's been all right, though. 3-3, there is a real opportunity now for Oklahoma, despite again, probably being outshot this game to win it. Pay off the backboard has put the Sooners in the lead.
We were looking for Kez and Pay to get involved on the offense, and they are getting involved indeed. That shot able to be behind Dylan and just in front of Schadee enough. I mean, the passing plays from Kay and Pez in game number 4 has been a lot better than what we've seen in the previous couple games for their passing lanes. That one pops to the center of the net, and Kez now hit the weight room and is able to bully that one past both defenders.
This is night and day from Oklahoma. They look so out of it in games 2 and 3, and now 5 goals have been scored in game 4. And then they've had some assistance from Dylan on a couple of those, but 30 seconds left. It's looking like we are going to have a tied best of 7 between Oklahoma and Kennesaw State, as long as the KSU Owls don't have a really, really late 2-goal run here in the waning moments of game 4.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised from Kennesaw State, but 10 seconds on the clock does not seem like they are going to be able to do it. Schadee just trying to get one more now for the Owls. Cleared out again from Oklahoma. Dylan takes it up, and that one will touch the ground. 5-3, the final scoreline in favor of Oklahoma. And even though Oklahoma has been playing scrappy at times, the series is tied 2-2 now. And Oklahoma have found a way to come back into this one. Kez and Pay getting involved on the offense. 3 goals, 1 assist, and the opposite for Pay. They have been connecting on that offensive half, and Kennesaw now they need to try and take this time to figure out what they need to do to stop the Oklahoma from trying to continue this momentum.
And I'm curious what they decide on, because that was a clear switch from Oklahoma from their Game 3 form to a completely different Game 4 form. And Flitz is one of the only players in the lobby that hasn't already readied up. So Coach Flitz is talking to his KSU Owls right now, and I'm wondering what he is cooking up for him, because Oklahoma, they have finally readied up as well. I guess Albedo was chatting to him, or Will just needed to run to the bathroom real quick. I'm not sure. Either way, both teams took the full 60 seconds there to get set for a big game 5, because Kennesaw State, I think they're still in the driver's seat here, Sleeper, but they have to prove that defensively, especially now in Game 5.
Yeah, Oklahoma, they, after being held scoreless in game number 3, they really surged with 5 goals in game number 4, finding a way to fight back into this one. Like you said, Kennesaw, they still seem to be in control of the series. It's been pretty scrappy from Oklahoma on the defense, especially being in a lot of low boost situations. But scrappy as it may be, they've still been able to hang in there and take game victories against Kennesaw State.
It's a good setup. Dylan gives Joel a chance to shoot, and Kez plus the crossbar makes the stop. KSU need to be hitting on that, because now Pay's going the other way, trying to dunk Joel. Does just that, sets up a potential shot opportunity for Kez, but ultimately it's Will that puts the big shot on target. Rebound for Kez is a pass out to the side to a Will. That was not a position to put another shot on target, but Oklahoma have peppered Kennesaw State's nets, and they ultimately escape with the opening goal of Game 5.
Sometimes that's all you need on offense. You don't need fancy magical shots coming out of nowhere. You just need to put too many shots on target for the defense to be able to save, and that's exactly what Oklahoma did. I thought that shot from Will was going to go in a little bit earlier, but it was just a little bit too soft, and Dylan was able to get back to it. But you keep putting shots through, and eventually one will fall, and it did for Oklahoma. And now, once again, Kennesaw, they have to try and fight back from a deficit here, as Oklahoma have found the early lead instead of it being Kennesaw.
I gotta know what Albedo told his boys after Game 3, because Oklahoma have found a way back, and that's what good teams do. They find a way to win, even in series where they don't look their best. You just keep those bad moments isolated, and when you lose 4-0 and almost get blown out in Game 2, only putting 3 shots on target, I mean, you just isolate those losses, and that's why we play best of 7s here, Sleeper. I want teams to be able to adjust and put their best foot forward for at least a majority of the series. So 1-0, Oklahoma. They have a lead, but it's Kennesaw State's turn to maybe find a way back here.
And now Dylan trying to do just that, takes it over. Pay can't get that flip reset to change the trajectory to be on target. Will, a great touch to get it around Schadee, now looking for the clear out for Oklahoma. That's popped up. Dylan is met in the air by Pay. It's going to waterfall down. Nobody there from Oklahoma able to shoot that on target, though. Now it's up for Kez. Now puts it down. Schadee is going to be there. Has the control of the ball, and he just flicks it right over Pay. And Pay knew it the second that it was shot, he was not going to be able to get that one.
No, it's the second time now that Pay's been caught out by timing. Although that was a little tricky from Schadee. He got underneath that ball before flipping into it, so I'm wondering if Pay thought that he had a window to challenge there, with Schadee just trying to keep control of the ball, because it's something that he's done throughout this series. And same can be said for the rest of KSU. They keep control of the ball and fake a one-timer shot. And Pay just got outdone there. 1-1. Kennesaw State used their star power in Schadee to find a way back in Game 5 and maybe add to it, but the light shot easily saved by Pay, and actually Kez has a chance downfield. He puts that into the blue box, but Dylan was there and ready.
And no follow-up from Oklahoma. Schadee able to get to that ball too fast. Boost totals for Oklahoma were not quite there to match Shadee's pace. Will able to push this one out only for a brief moment. Pay able to help him with it a little bit before Dylan gets involved in the play, and still continuing to 50 through the Oklahoma defenders. That 50 pops just straight up for Joel to be able to get there to put that second goal through for Kennesaw.
This is how I've expected Kennesaw to play against this Oklahoma team. They just take neutral 50-50s, play kind of close to the ball, because Oklahoma really haven't dominated the challenge game enough to where they're finding big booming clears off of simple 50-50s, the midfield line, or in their defensive third. And I mean, right there, it's perfect from KSU. And now Shadee's getting right back to the solo play antics that he is known for around the SEL, though doesn't pan out. Instead, it's just a 50-50. Takes another one. Again, it's not a big booming clear, but Joel did not read where that ball was going next, and so Dylan's in an awkward spot, but Oklahoma weren't ready to pounce.
That one popped up. Will able to get the read on that as well. Dunks it. Continuing to get it into that offensive half. Kez through the corner, has the second touch, but Dylan is there in the corner of the net to push that one out. Will trying to get something here. No boost in the tank, though. Now Kez once again getting involved there, but it's a long clear out from Dylan. Only as far as Pay, though. That one's put on target. Joel's going to be there. Demo on the goal line. Will trying to set up Kez. Schadee able to respawn and get the save there. Now Will again through the corner. Oklahoma, they are continuing to just try and get something through that defense of Kennesaw, but Kennesaw is able to hold on this time around instead of crumbling at the offensive peppering from Oklahoma.
Will get down the sideline past Schadee. Through Joel as well. Takes a follow-up 50-50, but Kez is next up and has set up Pay for a shot. It's a lobber. Won't get over Joel. Schadee redirects downfield, so Kennesaw State survived their first defensive test of, I'm sure, one or two more here as Game 5 comes to a close. Pass down, Pay to Kez. Kez to the back of the Kennesaw State net, and we are tied up late in Game 5.
24 seconds on the clock. Another offensive lurch here from Oklahoma. Able to convert on the goal line this time and get that tying goal through. Now we're heading into the end of regulation. That's a kickoff from Dylan. Just rolling up the crossbar, but able to fall in this time for Dylan. Crossbar not being the detriment to him. And once again, Kennesaw 4 seconds gone by, and they were able to secure the lead once more.
That's a clutch kickoff goal. That's the type of kickoff goal that can bail you out of an awkward spot, because Kennesaw State lost momentum after Oklahoma got them to concede, but could still lose that momentum if they're not careful here. Dylan will take out Pay, so there is an opening for KSC to just kill the rest of the clock here in Game 6, but Pay has forced that ball out to the side, and Schadee will win the race to this ball, so I think we're going to a Game 6. It's guaranteed now with Kennesaw State out in front. They've got 2 match points to work with against a scrappy Oklahoma team that I know is hungry for this win.
Yeah, Oklahoma probably not happy with their performance towards the last 30 seconds. They're able to find the tying goal and then instantly let in a kickoff goal. I mean, that was just a good setup from Kennesaw as well to allow that to be able to fall into Dylan's hands to put that through. But Oklahoma, they now have to try and even force that Game 7. They need to try and find a way to beat this Kennesaw State team. But Somber's prediction, it already has gone past that, and we have headed to Game 6. But Oklahoma, now headed into this next matchup, they are trying to push that even further to a Game 7.
It was looking good for a bit, Somber's prediction, because Oklahoma lost a lot of offensive momentum. They were just kind of absent for 2 games. And then, well, outside of that, their offense has been firing. I mean, right there, they matched they outshot Kennesaw State that game. And, well, the Owls got the best of them there. That's still, I think, a form that they can win with. But they have to clutch up in Games 6 and 7. The result of being absent for those the Games 2 and 3 earlier on in this best of 7 is that you have to now really step up here at the end. But that's something they're capable of. I'm familiar with Pay and Will's game. Kez, I'm still new to Sleeper, but he's looked decent at times in this series, and right there got very much involved in the much-needed play.
Yeah. Will Oklahoma be able to fight their way back into force a Game 7 here? Or will Kennesaw be able to close out against the Sooners? And it seems like it's Kennesaw's series to lose at this point. They've looked in the driver's seat for most of the series, only getting away from them in key moments in certain games, but for the most part, they've seemed in control. And it seems like it's theirs to lose if they let things start to slip away into the hands of the Sooners again, like it did at the end of Game 3, at the end of Game 4 before they were able to, or Game 4, yeah, at the end of Game 4 and Game 5, the one that we just played.
It's Schadee and Dylan committing together. Oh, sorry, it's Joel and Dylan committing together. I don't know how I missed Joel's name, but it's Schadee that cleans up after them, so no harm done. The Owls break away and have some offense, but Kez will take it right back, and Shadee's got no boost, so he just bops that ball downfield, but Dylan is there. Chance to shoot for him. He'll go high, looking to double, and Kez is there for the stop. Rebound will hit the post, and Kennesaw State battering every part of the Oklahoma backboard except for the back of their net.
Now Schadee just has to try and play this one slow, able to get it around Pay. Now Dylan getting involved in the play as takes the ball, able to get it around Joel, in fact. Now it's going to be popped off of the backboard. Pay with a shot. Dylan is there to cover it up. It's a little bit of a weak shot there from Pay, so easily able to be saved away, but Oklahoma, they're still trying to continue on that offensive path. It's a demo by Kez. Now Will trying to get it down for Pay, but Pay able to clear it over to Dylan. Now trying to find a look towards the net, but once again, Oklahoma, they're finding a way to stop this ball in the midfield before it can get too dangerous.
Oh no, Schadee! I mean, that's not an easy spot to be in, but felt like he was just trying to do too much after he missed there in the corner, and he had to get more goal side of that ball, I feel like, to at least force a dead ball 50-50 that allows Dylan or Joel to get back in that play. But either way, it's the corner miss that sets them up for failure, and Oklahoma is there to punish, so they take first blood here in Game 6.
Now, Oklahoma lead once again earlier, or the first lead in a game. This time, half of the clock is off of the game clock already, so they're in a good position to take this. This has been a slow developing game here. Only one goal in 2 minutes and 30 seconds of play. A little bit different from what we've seen in games previous, but Kennesaw looking to get one back. That pinch, Schadee thought it was going to go a little bit higher than it was. Now Pay combines with Kez. That one's just going to be off the crossbar. Shot from Will as well, off of the post. Now Joel able to bring it out, leaves it for Schadee, takes it low, tried getting it over Pay as well, but could not do so. Now Dylan just has to try and collect the ball in the midfield, but Kez will not allow him to do so. The shot as well from Will, too fast for the defense to keep up with, and now it's a 2-goal lead for the Sooners.
105-mile-per-hour shot as this goes off of Joel's car. It was going in either way, I think, but that skim did put a lot of heat behind it. Oklahoma score a crazy second goal, and Shadee's getting antsy. You can feel him getting more aggressive on the field, leaving his teammates in more awkward spots to try and make up for a bit of extra resources committed to offense, and I don't blame him. I mean, it feels like the chances are there for KSU, just a bit too slow to realize them at times, and he's trying to take the situation into his own hands, and he's getting aggressive, but has to be careful, because if Oklahoma scores again, I think Game 7, the odds of us seeing a Game 7 at least become ever more high.
What a touch there from Kez as well to just pop that over two crashing members from the Kennesaw State Owls. That shot wide of the net. Dylan able to keep that one from landing into the hands of Pay. 50 there, pops out for Shadee's control. Able to bring it over, but can't get it around the defense. But Dylan able to get that final shot through either way.
All right, Kennesaw State's finding a way back. And it's an aggressive second-man posture. I guess it's third-man posture because Joel is rotating back. And Dylan, after Schadee got through those two defenders, trusted that that ball would be in a position to shoot, or at the very least, salvage possession. And he was right. So, smart read. We've been critical of Dylan. He's made mistakes in this best-of-7, but that is one of his better plays.
Yeah, Schadee has the ball in his control. Dylan, the bump. That shot off of the crossbar, though, so the bump does not matter as the crossbar was being the better defender that time around. Fourth defender here coming out for the Oklahoma Sooners. Shot by Will, able to be stopped. Schadee, awkward touch. This is continuing to be jumbled up on the goal line of the Owls, but finally able to at least get it away from the middle of the net. Now, still awkward here for the Owls. Kez trying to slow play this one through the corner. Gets Joel out of the play. Pops centered for Will. The shot. Schadee able to recover. It was a slow shot from Will. Now Joel cuts off the pass. A little bit awkward for the defense of the Sooners. And Joel is able to tie this up with 10 seconds on the clock for the Owls.
Oh, that's so big. Joel secures it as well with an over-the-top dunk on Kez's dome. But it started with that midfield read. Joel expected the side-out ball, or I guess the out two side infield, whatever. Dylan's winning it for Kennesaw State. A flick while I'm trying to figure out my words. That's how fast Kennesaw State have flipped this game on its head.
Another kickoff goal for Kennesaw State, landing into the hands of Dylan. Almost hit the bane of his existence again, the crossbar, but thankfully for him, it went down and into the net.
Oh.
Now Oklahoma trying to get one last attack. Dylan demos Will off of the pitch, and Joel will play that one to the ground, and Kennesaw, after a nail-biter, are able to secure the series victory in 6.
That's crazy, though. I mean, that was so back and forth when it felt like Kennesaw State should be in control. But credit to Oklahoma for sticking around and keeping that one competitive. They almost forced a Game 7, but it took late game brilliance from KSU to net themselves a win. And I'm going to see if anyone wants to pop into the booth for an interview, because that is a series we need dissected, Sleeper.
Yeah, it was very back and forth. Oklahoma, they started off great. Kennesaw fought their way back in it. Then Oklahoma did a little bit of catching up there, but unfortunately for them, it was just a little bit too late. They were not able to hang on at the very waning moments of game number 6 as well. They let 2 goals slip into the hands of the Owls, and unfortunately for them, that ended the series for them there.
And something I got a reference from Twitch chat. Real Albedo popping in, coach of Oklahoma, of course, saying it's the first time they have ever played together. And that was something I had a suspicion of with the tryouts being just a couple days ago for OU, but it wasn't confident enough to say on stream. So, hey, maybe that's why it was so scrappy, Sleeper. And I mean, for them to stick around against a Kennesaw State team that has plenty of experience playing together, at least 2/3 of the team, with Dylan having played with Joel and Dylan having played with Schadee previously, Oklahoma stuck around nicely, and they found ways to stay competitive. So I'm with Albedo. That's a pretty good look for the first time Oklahoma's taken the pitch together.
Yeah, there's definitely moments there where Pay and Kez, it seemed like they had been teaming together for a while, because I believe it was game number 5. They were just connecting on all of those passing plays off of the backboard infield to each other. They were just connecting like that, and I guess it's moments like those that you want to, when you're a new team like that, you want to hold on to it and grasp it and continue to try and replicate that over and over. So this Oklahoma squad, I am very excited for their future in SEL and CCS, which I am also heavily involved with. So it'll be exciting to see their development as those seasons progress.
Well, Dylan has accepted the interview, and so I'm going to let him know to pop in RVC. And we'll get to talk to him here in a second. Sleeper, I'll let you ask a couple of questions after I get my first 2 in, once Dylan does pop in here. But I can't wait to get his thoughts on Kennesaw State's look that series. And he has popped into the booth, second time tonight, actually. Hello. This time just an audio joiner in the booth. But Dylan, how you doing? How was that series for you?
We're doing good. Obviously, we're happy we got a win. This is a very different start than last semester. We got, but yeah, it was a solid win.
All right, yeah. I mean, solid win. It was scrappy at times, though. There were mistakes here and there around the pitch. There were a lot of crossbars hit on your end. But how do you feel that series went? I mean, Oklahoma, you shut down their offense for a good portion of that best of 7, and they resurged. Kind of talk me through that show match.
Yeah, we just we kind of had to just like low-key remember how to play the game. If I want to put it plainly, we kind of recognized what they were doing for the most part, and we were just like, okay, we can literally just like adapt and just low-key let them do it. But yeah, the matches that we lost, like that first game, it was just like we could add that. We just trolled it. And then same thing with the other game that we lost, where we felt like we kind of just we had the lead and then we let it slip and then we just didn't really recover that well. But then we went into the next game and we were like, yeah, we're chilling. We'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I want to hear what so there's that after a game 5 that 5-3 loss.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams took a little bit of time. I want to know what Flitz was talking with you guys about, whether he was just calming you down or if it was more he was like working on things that you could have fixed.
I mean, Coach Flitz was, yeah, it was a lot less calming down. Like we were mostly calm by that point. We had kind of just like started moving on to the next game. We're like, all right, fuck, we trolled this one. It's whatever. We're going next. And Flitz was kind of just like, he told us a couple of mistakes that we were making, and kind of just gave us an example. And then it was just kind of easy to adjust from there. So, Coach Flitz doing his thing, doing his job. We're super stoked to have him.
Yeah, I also so you were talking about adapting to Oklahoma playing. I want there's a lot of chances, a lot more chances that could have gone your way because the Oklahoma defense was looking a lot shaky at times, but you just weren't able to put some of those shots through. I want to know how you were able to really when shots that should be going in don't go in, how you kind of are able to reset that mentality in order to just go to the next goal.
I mean, the easiest way to think of it was just like, as long as the goal doesn't as long as the missed goal doesn't immediately result in like us like losing the game or like getting scored on, like it really doesn't matter. Misses are gonna happen. Like we're not pros. Misses are gonna happen. We're not perfect mechanically. Maybe sometimes we don't get a perfect comm that goes through. We're supposed to, stay in the play for a second longer. We just didn't know. But typically we're able to just adjust from there and just like move on and kind of get back into the swing of things.
All right. It's a good mentality, which I figure you guys have. And you don't have to speak for Schadee here, but how do you think Shadee's slotting in so far?
I mean, he just said it before I hopped out of the call. He was saying he was feeling like our rotations felt a lot better, and he was griping with himself. He was like, I should have done. There were more plays that I could have done. I'm like, dude, you already did enough, bro. You're fine. Like, I promise it's fine. So I think he's feeling well about it. I think we're doing good. So.
All right. Hey, it is a good start to the season. I mean, on Tuesday Night Lights in the fall, you guys lost in 7 to Clemson, and here you're beating Oklahoma in 6. So very much so, a better start. I appreciate you joining us. You started the show off with me on State of the SEL, and you're closing it off in the booth. I appreciate it.
Absolutely perfect way to cap off the day. Appreciate you guys.
All right, so that's Dylan, captain of KSU's B team, and a tone setter maybe for the rest of the season in the SCL. We'll see what happens. But Sleeper, that wraps up the show. It was a stacked night of Tuesday Night Lights, but I think it's high time for me to go play in some snow.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of you for that. Like I said, there's snow everywhere except for where I am, and it's like the coldest here. So you go enjoy your snow. Thank you again for having me on. It's always a blast being able to cast in here with you for some Monday night, or sorry, Monday night, just some night lights in general, whatever day it may fall on.
All right, well, that caps off a wonderful night of Rocket League. Shout out to everybody that played, everybody that tuned in, all my casters that joined me in the booth. For those that noticed, it was a full S-caster night alongside me. If you call me MrBepic, I'll be the 5th S, but Sleeper, Somber, Sheep, and Skyline. That was the lineup. First time that's happened, but I appreciate you all for tuning in. I will see you on next Tuesday, I think will be my next stream. We're not quite in the swing of things yet for Collegiate Rocket League, but I'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.